Okay, so good morning everybody, and welcome to another episode of Roaming with Remy. First of all, I'd like to wish all the mums out there a happy Mother's Day, both past and present mums. Enjoy your Sunday. So today we're mooching around Twickenham, particularly the riverfront, and in the distance there, what you can see, I'll go down to the river in a sec. Come on, Rem, this way. Wait. Good boy. Over you come. Let's go. Let's go. And across there, if you look across the river, you can see some houses on an island, or AIT, A-I-T as it's often known. Now that there is Eel Pie Island. And what you can do when this pandemic's over, you could cross that bridge over there and have a mooch around. I mean, today it's got inhabitants of 120 inhabitants, various small businesses, art studios, boatyards. So we can trace Eel Pie to probably the Mesolithic period, and that period lies between the Paleolithic and the Neolithic periods, and it's approximately 10 to 8,000 BC. We know this because there's been antler bone implements found on the island shore. So it's not just the heydays of the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. You're looking at 8,000 probably years BC. So we're going to walk down the shore a bit. So we go back to 1743. I suppose it was a popular place for steamer boat excursions, and there was a place in there called Eel Pie House, Eel Pie House, and that's where these, excursions would stop off, have a drink or refreshments, etc. And the Eel Pie House was replaced in 1830, and an inn was rebuilt there, and the old one was referred to as a dingy little cottage. A writer for the London Gazette, Samuel Jones, he describes Eel Pie Island as a chiefly pleasure grounds, and in the centre was the Eel Pie House, noted as a favourite favourite resort for refreshment and recreation of water parties. So that's the bridge they're going across there. Like I said, unfortunately we can't get across there. What do you reckon, Rem? Interesting down here, isn't it? We're going to move along a bit, and we're going to find somewhere to have a sit down in a minute. Come on. Come on. Come on. So don't forget Rory and Harlow's time travelling book series, www.roryandharlows.co.uk. You can buy our books on eBay, Etsy and Amazon if you're viewing from worldwide. Come on. I think we'll park ourselves down in a minute, and I'll tell you a bit more about Eel Pie Island. So you can see some of the houses there, creative studios and apartments to let. Down on the further end there you've got boat yards. So it's really sort of place. So this would have been the site of the Eel Pie Island Hotel. And it would have been sort of a genteel 19th century centre, and later in the 20s to 30s There would have been a lot of ballroom dancing and jazz over there on the actual hotel. You can Google the hotel, you get some original pictures of it. But, so Brian Rutland, he ran a local band called the Grove Jazz Band, and he started sessions there. Eventually this was taken over in the 60s to promote jazz bands and R&B groups. So some of the names you might recognise. You've got people who played there, Long John Baldry and his Hoochie Coochie Men, and of course that included Rod Stewart. Acker built Ken Collier, Cyril Davis, to name a few. Who else was there? That's probably, let's have a think, who was there? The Downliners, John Mayall's Blues Breakers, and that featured Eric Clapton, George Melly, the Rolling Stones, Screaming Lord Sutch, the Tridents, featuring Jeff Beck, the Who, the Yardbirds, and Pink Floyd. So they were just some of them who sort of played over on that island. I'm going to walk down a bit. There's lovely swans there. You ready? Come on, let's go. Come. So if we look where the camera is now, that will, you'll be heading towards Richmond and onto the Thames. If we go round, you can see the island over there, and down, then the next stop would be towards Teddington, Hampton Court, and eventually onwards towards Oxfordshire. Across the water there we have the Twickenham Rowing Club, and that's actually one of the, I think it's the oldest rowing club on the Thames, again situated at Ilpie Island. Can you see that shark over there in the garden? So, you know, once this pandemic's over, we'll have a mooch over and I'll show you some of the houses over there. Rem, come on. So, in 1977, the Ilpie Hotel actually closed as it could not meet the £200,000 that demanded by the police for repairs and fire safety, etc. But then again, in 1969, it reopened as Colonel Barefoot's Rock Garden, and the likes of Black Sabbath, Edgar Broughton, Stray, Genesis, and Hawkwind played there, or I think they called Hawkwind Zoo there. In 1969, anarchists took over, including the illustrator Clifford Harper, and in 1970 it became one of the UK, I think it was the UK's largest hippie commune. And in 1971 the hotel burnt down by a mysterious fire. Doesn't suppose it's got anything to do with the money that was probably owed in it. Okay, so like I said before, it's probably got about 50 homes on there, 120 people, 2 to 3 boat yards. Down there you can see some of the boat yards. There's one just opposite us there. And again, like I said, home to Twickenham Rowing Club just across there, which is one of the, I think it's the oldest rowing club on the Thames, and also home to Richmond Yacht Club. So that's a little bit about Ilpie Island. Come on, Rem, let's go. Come on. Now, for some reason, this dog likes a pub. I'm afraid we can't go in there today, Remy. Now, over there, we've got the Barmy Arms, and a little bit of history about that pub. Again, it's home to one of the oldest fishing clubs, and that's the Francis Anglin Club. And it wasn't always called the Barmy Arms, it was once called the Queen's Head Hotel. So if some of you around Hampton and Twickenham are watching this, you probably remember it then. But it changed its name in the 70s because what happened, they started putting a Christmas tree upside down in the garden here during Christmas, and hence the name Barmy Arms. But if you've ever been here for rugby, you'd probably recognise this place. And on the rugby, good win for England yesterday, well, a win at least, beating the old French. Come this way. Now here we have one of favourite places of mine. It's the Mary Wallace Theatre. It's a tiny theatre, and it was opened in I think 1934. You can see the stage door there, and it was founded by Mary Wallace, hence the name. Now, originally it was an outdoor for Shakespeare's plays, etc. But as you can see there, the conversion of this building into a theatre was largely made possible by a bequest from Mary Wallace, for many years Secretary of the Richmond Shakespeare Society, and it's named after Mary as a permanent memory to her gesture. Now I think it does about 8 productions a year, and all sorts of productions from ancient Greece to modern day plays. And you can see there, that's what it's like inside. Really sort of a nice tiny little theatre. So again, worth looking up and worth experiencing a play there, you know, when everything's hopefully back to normal. Anyway, that's the first part. So thanks for watching. Don't forget www.roaringharlows.co.uk and hit that subscribe button.